Hello, everyone. We are here with the stars of Pirates of the Caribbean, Salazar's Revenge. Hello to you all. So great to have you here. Please send us your questions. We will try to get to as many as we can throughout this little show. In the meantime, I do have a first question, I guess for all of you. Way back when, would you have thought that Pirates of the Caribbean would become the immense, successful franchise that it has become today? Anybody?
I certainly didn't see it coming around the corner, but then again, I thought that even if it was a huge hit, I would have been fired by then.
How about the rest of you? I don't know, Brenton, when you were a kid when the first one came out, what were your thoughts about the movie then?
Well, I loved it, you know. It was a world that I'd never seen before in the cinema. And, you know, every movie was a completely different dimension. And I think this one has continued to do that same thing.
Orlando, what was it like for you? It was 10 years. It's been about 10 years since your last one.
It's been about 10 years, yeah.
What was it like coming back on the set?
It's great.
Why?
Yeah. Well, it's like returning to friends. And it's, you know, they're such an important part of my life. You know, the movies were so beloved by everyone and we had such a great time. So it was a no-brainer. It was really easy.
What was the ambience like on the set? Is someone who's the biggest practical joker? Is there
Johnny.
someone...
Johnny.
Doing what?
And you over a table.
I can't, once Jack sort of starts
Takes over.
prowling around, you know, I'm unable to stop.
Kaya, what was it like for you coming on board? And was there any sort of I'm the only girl dynamic going on there?
Well, they're all really cool. They never treated me like the only girl. I think they treated me like an equal, and that was really nice. I like male energy. I think you know they're fun to work with, and I was never made to feel weak or forgotten about, or they farted in front of me, so it was great.
And she was a female astronomer, so we were all scared of her brain.
Absolutely the right answer from Jeffrey Rush. Javier, what makes Salazar, for those of the viewers who haven't seen it yet, what makes him the most feared pirate of all time, the biggest nemesis for Jack Sparrow?
I guess rage and a very thick Spanish accent. Both things are very scary.
What else do you think you brought to the role?
Well, I brought the joy of being able to belong to this amazing movie with such a great cast and an amazing, tremendous production value. Meaning, everybody that is involved in this kind of movie, in this kind of movies, are up top notch. Their quality is tremendous. So to be part of it is a great honor.
Jeffrey, your character has evolved so much over these 5 movies. We can't give too much away, but what was it like playing Captain Barbossa this time around, and how has he changed since the first movie?
Well, on the first film, I thought it was a really great script. It was an eccentric character. I'm drawn to very eccentric characters. I thought there's a lot of scope in playing Barbossa, and I read the last page and said he gets shot. So I thought, oh, that was a nice little one-off experience, but they brought in a bit of voodoo, and I came back.
What was it like, the interaction with you all on the set? I know, Javier, yesterday you were telling me about this crazy blood that comes out of your mouth that would sometimes end up on Jeffrey's face. Tell us about what it was like during those scenes.
Well, compared to, you know, there was one other cast member, one of the female cast members that's been through the whole series, who plays my monkey, and she has to, yeah, she's like, the squid ink was nothing, because the monkey wears a permanent diaper. They're very anxious, uptight little capuchin monkeys, and, you know, sometimes you even hear. That's just a nervous reaction to my performance, I think. And then,
But so we wanted to make him feel comfortable. We all wore diapers with the monkey.
Yeah.
To make him feel good.
And then occasionally you'd be in the middle of your most important monologue, and I don't know what they eat. But this,
I think I could probably describe it.
Tell us.
Coconut milk and bananas, when they come back out during your performance, it's disturbing.
Yeah, gerbil risotto.
And it was the same monkey from the last time, wasn't it?
Pablo and Chiquita.
I love them.
They've been there since the second film. I think the first monkey priced herself out of the picture. She wanted a bigger fee for Pirates of the Caribbean 2. And yeah, my agent loves that story.
And did she recognize you, or did they, the two of them,
Well,
recognize you?
the monkey is trained to not really have a relationship with me. The monkey's trained to work with the trainer, who will keep throwing peanut rewards. And the trainers are brilliant because they get all the instructions in between our dialogue. Chiquita, look here, one peanut.
No, I was sure that I saw the monkey having a relationship with you.
Should I say? Should we talk about that?
I was sure I saw that.
Well, I was doing a costume fitting on the Gold Coast for this film, and Pablo was brought in. And as far as Pablo's concerned, I'm just like a block of wood. And he looked across at me and he went, it was a bit like, long time no see, where have you been? We're back on the Pirates film again, you know. And I said to Mark, the trainer, would Pablo remember me? And he said, yeah, he'd remember the smell of your earwax. A lot of other actors I've worked with have said the same thing.
We have a question now from Alex for all of you. If you could pick one, what was your favorite memory? What did you think I was going to say?
No, I'm still I'm still in Jeffrey's brain.
Monkey mind. If you could pick one, what would be your favorite memory from the set? Orlando?
Favorite memory from the set? Probably. From this movie I think it was great to see Kira back. Actually, it was lovely to kind of come over the bluff, and there she was. You know, it was she makes her appearance at the end of the movie, and I tripped over a turf of grass on the way up the hill to see her, which was also kind of amusing.
Which made the final cut.
It was great, that sexy run across the hill, and then just.
So essentially, you tripped on a bluff.
Tripped on a bluff, yeah, exactly.
Oddly.
Brenton, how about for you? I know you said your first day of the shoot was a bit interesting when it came to observing Johnny.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was you for half a day, and it turned around and I saw Todd.
Who's the stunt double?
Turned out to be the stunt double.
Well, he's better than me. He's far better. Far better.
Johnny, what was the hardest for you? The directors yesterday were saying that one of the scenes that was hard to convince you to do was the scene with the guillotine. Is that true, and why?
No, I mean, it wasn't. No, there wasn't really a problem with the guillotine, sort of rig or anything like that. It was a bit of the writing that I thought needed a little juiced up, and maybe try to push the parameters a little bit with wordplay. So yeah, no, I didn't mind getting my head chopped off. I just wanted to have a pure thought and give it to someone before I died.
How about improvisation? How much improvisation was on the set?
I don't know how to do that.
That's not true. I heard you're a great improviser.
No, my favorite line, and I think it was a line that Johnny threw in the rehearsal, is when I discover him getting married in the Whalebone Church. Yeah. And, we haven't met for 10 years, let's say. People have grown up. The Henry character and Kaya's character and everything, Karina, and out of all the arguments we've ever had, as soon as I walked in and just blasted the gun and killed the priest and everything, I go up and he says, "Did you bring me a present?" Of all the arguments we could have had that were crucial.
Back at the beginning of this is really a question for both you, Johnny and Jeffrey. How did you talk about this relationship between your characters? What images did you come up with? How did you decide what became such a great relationship?
Well, it's the backstory on the first film, The Curse of the Black Pearl, really starts, if Jack owned the Black Pearl as he originally did, he was the captain, there would be no story, because he'd be a very happy existential pirate leading a very happy life, drinking rum and not getting into too many scrapes. But of course Barbossa, as his first mate, mutinied and took over the ship. And since then, the basis of the ongoing argument is that we thought of the Black Girl as being, the Black Pearl as being our girlfriend. And we both wanted her, and that has kind of gone through all 5 chapters of maintaining ownership of our prized possession.
It's like a couple, an old married couple that really to sort of snap at one another, mostly.
Same-sex pirate marriage.
No, rum sodomy in the lash, wasn't it? Isn't it? Disney. Forgot.
Johnny, when you think of Jack Sparrow has become such an iconic character. I think Jerry Bruckheimer was saying it's in the list of the top iconic characters of all time. When you think about having created something like that, how do you feel? It's cool.
Weird.
Yeah.
You feel weird. I mean, just because, I mean, he as we all do, you know, we all approach our characters and you find these little ingredients and you put them together and, you know, you throw one out there, you know, and you reel it in and see if you're gonna, how it's gonna land, how everything is gonna be, you know. It was definitely a roll of the dice, you know, but finding the character was some of the most fun I've had. Finding a role, because finding Captain Jack was, I figured that he'd been probably at sea since he was about 3 months old. So therefore, he'd be fine on a ship, but when he gets on land, it can't really stand sight. You know what I mean? So I just, you know, think things like that, you know, so his brain would be scalded. So I kind of stayed in a sauna. Don't recommend this, by the way. I stayed in a sauna for as long as I possibly could, and you start to talk to yourself. You really do. You really do. You don't say much, but it's yeah.
Kaya, what was it like for you with all of the special effects and being on this kind of a big budget CGI movie? I know you've had experience with that in the past. Was it different this time around? How did you live this experience? Was it easier?
I was really impressed by how much we actually built. I think that's what's wonderful about these big budget movies. You get to build the sets and actually live in the world a little bit. And poor Javier sat through hours and hours of makeup every day, and so we had a real thing to react to. It actually wasn't as much CGI as I was expecting. We were on real huge ships, and they built an entire town, and a hurricane knocked it down, and they built it again. It's pretty cool.
And Javier, you were telling me for you there was a certain amount of shyness almost the first time you had to get into that CGI thing. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I never done a movie where you are surrounded by the blue screen. I was never on the sea, so I haven't seen the sea in the whole shoot. When you watch the movie, you won't believe that. So when they are telling you, and then on your left you will see this, and on your right you will see that. Now, action. I felt like a little 5-year-old when you bring your 5-year-old to your guests and say, do something for the guests, and the kid says no. That's what I felt like action to what? What am I supposed to see? So you have to really go through your shyness and then do it. But then you watch the movie and it's crazy good. I mean, how amazing everything is done.
And there's so much emotion in the movie, too. I love this whole idea of looking for your father. Orlando and Brenton, how did you guys work on that father-son relationship?
I think we knew when we were going into it that was going to be the dynamic, so we kind of had a hang for a bit on set, didn't we, before caught up?
Yeah, it was tricky because we really had one scene to show, 20 years of relationship, and
But they made up for it. I saw them walking around in lederhosen together all the time. just walking, just walking around. Walking around the neighborhood. Pablo was following, vomiting.
that's what we did.
Oh, I believe it.
It was cute. They were old men. I thought they were Boy Scout uniforms.
Do you get, just to wrap up, I mean, obviously it seems like you guys all get along great. Are the bonds that you found now something you'd like to pursue in the future for those of you who could pursue it, given the storyline, which we will not reveal, in the future? Would you all be on board to do this again?
Well, I'll be appearing at some fast food restaurants across El Monte as Captain Jack Sparrow in the near future. Anybody want to join me?
Anybody?
No, there you go. No, it would be great. I mean, listen, it's been such a great opportunity for me, for sure, but for all of us to have had the moment to create a character, and have the time to to hone that and define that character over a series of films, and they, you know, Barbosa sticks. The relationship between Barbosa and Jack sticks. You feel, you know, here's this villain, and here's this other villain, and I'm not. But you feel sympathy for them. You feel empathy. You empathize for these guys, and that's very tricky stuff in performance. You know, that's a real tightrope. You know, these guys were walking in certain areas. You know.
Yeah, you had mentioned that kind of, it's not, you were using the expressions dry and wet yesterday to say it's a different kind of acting because you have to remember your audience.
Right. Yeah, it's like it's Pirates of the Caribbean. You have to put up the volume and play with the fun of it, with the joy of it, for the people to have some joy watching it.
Indeed. All right, just one final word before we go to the fans.
Thank you for everything, and thanks for keeping us all around. Anybody? Anybody?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Come and see the film, please.
Yeah. Hope you like it.
You'll
Thank
be
you.
surprised.
Yeah, you will enjoy it a lot.
And thank you so much to all of you, the stars of the Pirates of the Caribbean, Salazar's Revenge. Thanks to you for watching. We're now going to take a quick look at some of the footage from this movie. I hope you enjoy it.
Jack Sparrow is the only one who can help us.
Set sail
Where's your ship? Your crew? Your pants?
for an epic adventure.
I'm not looking for trouble.
What a horrible way to live!
Are all pirates this stupid?
Pirates of the Caribbean, Salazar's Revenge.
Monkey. Jack Sparrow is the only one who can help us.
Set sail
Where's your ship? Your crew? Your pants?
for an epic adventure.
I'm not looking for trouble.